Make sure the energy is what it needs to be. Uplifting, peaceful, drama-free. That's all I'm trying to be. Real talk, good words. That's all I'm trying to spread in the streets. Love, old school, love, new school, love, motivation, love. I wanna give it to you with no apologies. Love, to keep you smiling. Love, that's all I'm trying to do. Love, love, love. Welcome to Poetik, hosted by your girl, One Single Rose. What up, though? How y'all beautiful people doing today? I am Rosemarie Wilson, a.k.a. One Single Rose when I'm nice, a.k.a. Pearl when I'm naughty, a.k.a. Queen Rose on the spoken word house music tip, and it is indeed an honor and a pleasure to be here today for the love of the word on the Poetik podcast. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for the love. Thank you for the views and for the shares that I know you guys are going to put down for us. We have an awesome guest here with us today in studio. He is Mr. Jason Squeeze Ford. Y'all give it up for Squeeze.
Man, I'm excited to be here, man.
Yes, thank you so much for coming on, Squeeze. I am so excited about everything that you're doing, and it was only fitting for me to have you as our first guest because you just show so much love in the community. You're doing such wonderful things. You're doing such wonderful things in the community, and I'm excited to see everything that you have going on and for the world to learn about your poetic prowess and what it is that you have going on here in the city of Detroit and beyond.
Yes, and I'm honored, man. When you first let me know that this was going to be the first rendition episode of this, I was beyond honored because I know you know so many phenomenal poets and people. I know you are a phenomenal poet in person, so you know so many people. So I'm extremely honored.
Thank you, Squeeze. That's love. I appreciate it. So this is going to be a conversation. We're just going to get to know each other. I know you, but I want the world to know what it is that you have going on. So I'm going to ask you some questions.
Yes.
Squeeze is going to perform for us.
Yes.
We're going to get into a little bit of his video so you can see what he has going on and what he's working on, and let you know where you can find him and how you can support everything that he has going on. So tell us a little bit about, first of all, I want to know where Squeeze came from. I'm nosy.
Legit. So Squeeze came from high school, all the way back in high school. So a lot of people don't know, most of my friends or people that's closest to me know my name is Jason. So most people that ask me my name personally, like before last year or a couple of years ago, I would tell them Jason. But if you ask somebody else, you will always get Squeeze. Where it all started is I was born and raised in Saginaw, Michigan, and I went to Buena Vista High School. Shout out to BV. Mm-hmm. And when I was there, it was a couple of cats. They were David Richmond, Torrey Jackson. He was looking at me in math class. He was like we've been calling you Jason your whole life, and you don't look like your name's supposed to be Jason. And I'm like, and I'm looking, and I'm an underclassman, they upperclassmen, and I'm looking at him like, what? Like, oh man. He like, no, for real. He's like, J Squeeze. And I'm like, oh, get the fuck out of here. And he was like, no, you don't like it? No, I was like, nah. So we went out to the hallways, and we'd be like, passing between classes, and people would be coming up to me like, hey, Jason. And they'd come in like, no, his name ain't Jason. Call him Squeeze, J Squeeze. So after a while, it just spread like wildfire. Then when I got to college, which when I came out to Detroit and all, my roommate was from Saginaw. So he would call me Squeeze all the time so the people around will always be like, oh, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. So that's how it is.
Okay, don't have nothing to do with those squeezes that you get when you hug somebody.
No, not at all. That's like just genuine love and appreciation, man. Like when I'm hugging somebody, like I hug people, but I don't hug everybody like it seemed like just hugging. So when I'm hugging, I just want to make sure that I'm expressing care, that support, because that's what I'm reaching out to do it in the first place. I don't want to be giving you something disingenuous. So,
yes. The squeezes are everything, y'all. Squeeze knows how to give a squeeze.
Yes.
So when did you start writing poetry?
So I've been writing for a long, like when I was a kid, but not really poetry. When I got to college, there's an organization called Poetry Society, started by, he's not a big poet now, but he is from Detroit. His name is Gerard Allen. He's a teacher. Mm-hmm. He started an organization at Eastern Michigan called Poetry Society. So when I was there, I joined the organization. I had a friend. He was a big poet. He was killing them, phenomenal. He don't even write or spit no more, and I try to get him out all the time. Keontae's Pyramid, shout out to him. Mm-hmm. He would kill it. So one time I wrote something out of Sidekick. If y'all remember back in the day, the Sidekick.
Yes.
I had a Sidekick, and I wrote the poem in there. And we were going down to the night watch to sign people in. And I got in the elevator. I was like, bro, I got this, And I read it for him. And he was like, man, that's fire. You should come to the open mic and do it. And I was like, for real? And I was like 18 kid, and I was like, I don't know, I didn't know if I should be expressing. I was all right with performing, being in front of people, but just expressing things that I've wrote intimately outward like that was something that was new. So I got up there and did it. And when I got off the stage, people were coming up to me like, man, how long you been spitting, man? That was great, man. And I was like, man, this is the first, And they was like, you should come to the meetings and to the organization, So I started attending, and then from there, I went on to be president of that organization, started a lot of initiatives and created a lot of opportunities for people after me and us, our class and stuff, and then went on to do other things, as a poet as well.
So it really just takes that first leap of faith to actually just get out there and do it. And once you begin to start sharing yourself, it's like the world just opens and they accept you, and then you just keep going. Yeah,
definitely. But you gotta have, you don't have to have, but it's all about, believing and you don't have to know who you are. That's a thing that may come or comes in a journey, but you have to want to know who you are. You have to have some sort of desire to have understanding of self, I feel like, so. Yeah.
Absolutely. So what actually prompted you to start writing poetry?
A lot of people don't know, I do have two half brothers that I didn't grow up with. I did grow up as an only child. So I was used to I would go to church and show out. People don't know this, but choirs and talent shows, and when I was 8, 9, and 10, show out. We used to have the old ladies in the church wilding out. It was fire. And so I was used to just being in front of people and seeing people's genuine reaction from me, that transfer of energy. So when I got up there and started performing at the school and started seeing people's reaction to it, that just pushed me to start performing and writing poetry more. But beyond that, I was already writing all the time. I keep a journal. I do have in my car 4 notebooks with me. One is for poetry, one is for a journal, one is for original stories, and one is my business notes and stuff. So I'm writing all of my thoughts all the time, or if I have something that's heavy to me or peculiar to me, I don't have a therapist, so mm-hmm. I spend a lot of time writing. For a while, I started writing every thought that I would have, within a period of time, stream of consciousness. And it's interesting the type of things you find and see, learn about yourself doing that.
Absolutely. Poetry is like therapy.
Yes.
It's a get out of jail free card for me.
Yes.
Instead of reacting with these, I react with this.
Yes. I be trying.
Yes.
Definitely be trying.
So speaking of poetry, let us hear a little something, something. Drop us a piece.
All right, so I'll segue into it like this. This poem is on the show I know we're going to talk about today, True Colors, one of the poems I did for the True Colors. I believe that was season 1 of that. And then also just recently with my friend B. Ward, we do a lot of events here in Detroit, open mics and stuff. I know we're going to talk about all that. But this was one of the first poems that we had when we were doing events. Well, not that we had, but Amber Shane, we're going to talk about all that downtown, doing Shane Park and a parallel and all of that. Mm-hmm. Heard this poem and wanted to bring us downtown, and that's kind of how that got started. We're going to talk about it. But
dope.
Black Bodies. It's the fabric of our eternity. Can you see it? Isn't it awesome how it exists beyond space and time, everywhere and nowhere? Like, where our thoughts rest as they manifest, hiding while being overstated. To say defining defines an understatement. The divine composition of blankets that defy described gravity confides what we consider reality and still somehow forced to compete with the moon. Unknown as the dawn, but attuned probably because the weight of it. How vast and abundant, so volatile and undisclosed, it has to be terrifying. Knowing that it truly exists outside of what man controls, besides all the strength that gives the weight that it holds, it has to be hard to be a star-spangled in the midst of the black body. Burning for what seems to be eternity, until death and rebirth without certainty, forced to burn hot just to be alive, just to exist under the pressure of our black bodies. But our eyes don't notice, not trained to focus that every inch in perspective is covered in stars. Every perspective presented possess something so dense. All of time in a blink of an eye, unnoticed, unknown to those who follow the signs of the locust while providing a pretense of heaven, becoming black bodies. So heavy that sometimes it gives in to gravity and falls from the sky. Fills the depths of our waters, returns life despite derelict in the theft of our flowers with a wonderful power. Can you feel it in an ounce of it? All of time pronounced in it, more than a man or mouse in this paradigm that would ignore like the soul it splits. If you can grasp the whole of it, of your black body, how many of the time or history is inscribed in this quantum mechanics? In the alignment of planets in your mind, you can balance times and scales with true gallant. If you can collect the pieces that complete you, you become so massive where your light can escape, where your life defines space. It's impossible to explain to those who have never seen it. Those close enough to experience it, to feel it, it's fixed to become part of it, to become one with the heart of it, but still unexplainable to the bodies that are part from it. Do you see your part in it? It's a beautiful sight when you see it. A sight broad as being, as broad as the heaven itself, the true existence and evidence of our black bodies.
Yeah. Yes, I love how you weave the cosmos all throughout that piece.
Yes.
Sometimes we forget our connections to what we can't see,
yes,
or what we can't actually reach up and grasp.
Yes.
And you brought it all together with them black bodies.
Yes. We have to understand that. It's true. Like, it's all, one thing. Even though we're different and individuals and all that, but, what we are, in existence is all one thing,
Very, very nice. So you just did a spoken word piece, which would be considered free verse or poetry with no form. What form of poetry do you lean more towards and why?
I do really like free verse poems. I love haikus as far as like expression, because you can, I know it sounds kind of backwards, but you can express so much, just in how you organize your words, you know, and you really have, you know, because of the restrictions, you really have the opportunity to do that in that. But the free verse, you just have you know, you just can express yourself. It's like the 80s or the 90s, like, you know, people dancing, you know, with the, you know, like in living color, you know, like you just feel free, you know, so you have time to really show your expressions, you know, like you really can show out and be exactly how you feel, you know.
Absolutely. I totally agree. If anyone would like to call in, if you have questions for Squeeze, or if you like to drop a haiku, call in at 313-266-2811. That's 313-266-2811. So, where has poetry taken you?
So I guess the biggest thing I want to say is it gave me the opportunity to meet so many phenomenal people, like you, like Jessica Care Moore, like Joel, like so many great. I don't want to get to name people because people like, you didn't name me.
You ain't say my name.
So I'm not naming nobody else. All right, nobody else. But you get an opportunity to meet so many phenomenal people, and these people aren't just artists. You know, they're not just people that are expressing themselves. They're doing the work to create opportunities for other people as well. You know, so that's one of the biggest things. You know, I've performed on stages. I've done Motown Mike, and that was a great opportunity and things like that, having the opportunity to connect with history and stuff. But the biggest things, you know, is being able to have and build like relationships, genuine bonds with people that are genuine about getting things changed, about doing things in the community, about creating opportunities for everybody coming, you know, for those coming behind us.
And you speak of community, and you most definitely do embrace the community. You put on a lot of events for the community. You are employing poets in the community every time you curate events.
Yes.
Why is it important for us to have an artistic community here poetically?
In Detroit, it's it's absolutely needed, just because of the history and what that means for the entire United States of America, and then even beyond that, probably the whole entire world, just because of the America's influence on that. It's so much history and so much like work that's been done right here on these streets, right here in these homes, right here in these businesses, these same places where we sit right now. There's been so much done. So it's so important for us, people that are artists, that are in the community, that are, you know, passionate about the community, because that carries. You know, we have to understand that it's up to us to be able to understand what we're going through. You know, like we all going through something, but it's up to the person that's gonna analyze or be self-reflective, and then go out and express themselves, or go out and then reflect upon what they had time to analyze. You know, those are the people that's going to identify what we need and how we grow, and going to bring people together to have conversations, you know. So it's absolutely necessary, you know, for the lack of wanting to search for a better word.
Absolutely, yeah. Absolutely. Because it's nothing like having your people with you as you on the come up.
Yeah.
Or as you want to come down, or whatever it is that you experience, and you got your support from your community.
Yes, but then also because the conversations that come, you know, that helps you grow, you know, because we're people. You know, people don't always want to be like, man, I'm going through this, and this is, you know, and my life is like this, and up and down, and, you know, we don't have them type of conversations all the time. But when you have an opportunity to bring people together, people have time to be an artist and really reflect and have that conversation.
Yes.
You know, that conversation that nobody would never known this man or this woman was going through this, you know what I mean, without somebody taking the time to express themselves through poetry or through artistry on stage or on a wall or something like that. So just bringing people together to have those type of conversations help people grow, help people identify, ways to change, ways to help themselves and help the people around them.
And we're actually going to be doing that at the end of this month at the Irwin House.
Yes.
With an artist talk where we're just all going to get together. We're going to love on each other. We're going to talk about the methods behind our madness. Well, I don't really know what's going to happen, but
yes.
I'm going to be there, and we going to do just that. Share some pieces and inspire each other. Yeah. And we outside with it. So
yes.
If you guys want some information about that event, if you go to One Single Rose, the information is posted over there. And what's your socials, Squeeze? Can you share it with the people?
Yes, on Instagram you can go squeeze.1st, squeeze first, squeeze.1st. If you do Twitter, it's squeeze with the 3s for the E's, except for the last E. So the 2 3s in the middle are, E's in the middle are 3s. And then on, what is that? Facebook, Jason L. Ford, and that's my initial. That's my full, name, initial with middle initial.
Yeah, you gotta get your government on Facebook. Yeah. They start hating on the artists now.
Yeah. And I don't mind, man, because as far as also in the community, we also growing in business too, So I have to be able to put myself out there, publicly in a way, because I have to operate in the public eye, not even as, an artist or as somebody that has to be in front of people, but as a person that, with the taxpayers and with stuff like that, because of where I plan to go, I have to be prepared. I have to organize myself to be prepared for that, that's coming or that we're working for right now in the future.
Exactly. Say it louder for the people in the back who need to get their shit together.
Yeah.
You got to start somewhere.
Take care of your business.
If you want to get somewhere, you got to start somewhere.
Yes.
So I'm going to ask this next question, and we're going to shoot to your video obsession.
Mm-hmm.
What are your goals for your poetry?
So to be honest, man, I want the greatest goal is to have people 100 years from now, reading, and taking this, because I know they're going to have different ways to, record what we have in the future then and stuff. But going to reflect on those things, and those things being able to help people then guide people, some of the writers in the past have done for us. Mm-hmm. That's the greatest goal for me in my poetry. Beyond that, I want to influence other writers as well. I do write to influence other writers. So I don't always write free form. I have all types of writing and expressions and stuff, especially when I'm in front of an audience. And I like to inspire people to do different stuff or not feel so boxed in by what they initially learn. Because a lot of poets, they learn, something, and then they think that that's how all of their poems supposed to be, mm-hmm. Until they learn, no, that's not it. You're a writer, you can express yourself in any form you like. It just depends on how you feel and what you're trying to express.
Exactly. What needs to get out, what needs to come out, bring it out.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to cut to your video obsession so they can check you out.
Legit.
Here we go.
Selfish, your selfie posted so selfless. Me, so selfishly, the proud and helpless see depicted. I present our obsession. I guess it's the result of there being less to possess, less in possession. Free and tamed, our filter free to frame our secrets, overexpose our most precious possessions. The filter acts as a shield, it is our protector. But it without much shine to reflect the true depth. We've been conditioned and reduced to a confused shell. Especially when the rates of reviews fail, the gas we choose to fuel our moves expels exhaustion. And if we're not careful, something toxic, naturally nuclear. And somehow our undo cleared the land of the living, giving life to the dead. And it starts in the head. Sometimes solution starts with the head, but our head's up, so it's all on our hands. Let's start by washing our hands. Let's be obsessed with the mess that we paint with our fingers. Wouldn't want to get it on everything, especially if our time here is allowed to persist. The only way that we're going to subsist, then proceed to live as gods and not as a cancerous cyst, we have to collect, to apply weight as we hang in the balance. Find balance to stabilize in the wake of a balance. Promote posts and programs that bring peace to your palace. I know how hard it can be trying not to breathe in negativity when it's floating all around us. Some consider that to be the charge of what's floating in our bloodstream. Waiting to exhale, unsure if we can trust our next breath. Trust that we will have a next breath. We just have to filter out all the and be mindful of how the filter in use changes the picture. Our minds being controlled by a machine built with the obsessions of humans. Something more Ultron than we may ever come to notice. Way more real and relatable than the reference in my last sentence, and I'm trying to avoid a Deadpool as I test the limits of the fourth wall, because our universe is much more marvelous than those old stories told by the writers in DC. Stories binded to the spines of the skeletons in their closets, the Knights of the Walking Dead, and we are in need of the living. We need to assess our mental health, take that journey to discover self, which takes expressions captured and explored in depth, not ignored to death. Pursue the goals you set, evolve, invest. Stretch your mind, don't subscribe to overdose on your usual. Trust in our senses to provide proper context, but that canvas used to portray truths tells lies, projected through you for your eyes. It's a bigger frame to trap your picture, entrapped in pictures. Got me thinking, how will this all appear in our timeline as we continue to time hop when it comes time to reflect on our flashbacks? Behind Foresight in 2020. All right, session.
Yes. Obsession. Thank you, Squeeze, and thank you guys for the questions. I see we have a question from Francine Lewis Evans. Do you, Squeeze, remember going to your first open mic?
Yes. I was with like my homeboy, like I said, Keontae Perryman, and he was like, "Yeah, come on out." It was the last one of the year at Eastern Michigan, and it was like it wasn't even in a room. It was like in a like a hallway space, you know, and they had a stage in there. So I got up there and did it. And yeah, I got a lot of love and support when I got off the stage. And that's what really encouraged me to keep writing and keep performing. So I say, like, encourage writers, you know, like, especially, you know, when you see them on stage and you see them genuinely expressing and genuinely having a desire to get up there and do their thing, you know, talk to them and encourage them, you know, because that's really what pushes them to become their own artists and do their own thing.
Yeah, absolutely. The open mic is a breeding ground so that you can try out some new work, work out a piece, get the kinks out so that you can take your work to other stages.
Yes.
And I highly encourage anyone, if you are looking to become a performer, a comedian, a singer, a poet, if you want to become some type of speaker or orator, go out to the open mics.
Yes.
and try yourself and try your pieces on the open mics for the audience, and they're going to keep it real with you.
Yes, you're going to see it in their expression. You're going to see it in their face in the audience.
Absolutely. It is definitely a great place to hone your skills.
Yeah.
And to learn the craft. So what actually made you begin creating and curating poetry events?
So I've always been a person that, you know, was good on organization and then also like influence, like getting people together collectively, you know, to get an initiative done. I remember like all the way back when I was like 10, like we had an Annie play at the school. And it was like the theater department. The lady, she didn't even want me to audition to be in a play. She had me do the stage directing and stage hand just because I was just always kind of on top of stuff like that. So when I got to Eastern, we kind of changed a lot of things there at the university, creating a lot of new events. Right now they have a minority student orientation. It's really a black student orientation, but due to the school's political, you know, and all that, they call it minority student orientation that still exists and operates there now to this day, has an entire department and fund and budget that takes care of that. So just having, you know, the desire and the experience, when I got out here to the city, I seen so many dope poets and writers and artists and so many. And I had got here, you know, like I was young, like 21, you know, and I was 21 like in 2012, 2011. So it was just a very different place, you know, than what it is today, you know, like a very totally different, especially on the artist scene, especially on the poetry open mic scene. So I would go out and, you know, and be hitting the open mics. You know, like I would be like if it was like 4 open mics in a week, I would go to the one on Tuesday, Thursday, go to the 90s. You know, like I would be there. So what I had seen was it was so many dope poets, so many dope artists, so many dope people, and wasn't no really strong foundations that were there to support them solely, you know? Like at the time, there wasn't a lot of foundations or a lot of collectives that was really focused on the artist growth and the artist management. It just wasn't a thing at that time. Mm-hmm. So just seeing it, I just was like, well, that's something that's needed. You know, I want to create opportunities. I want to use like my vision to be able to create strong, solid foundations and environments for people to be vulnerable or to create things or to, you know, network with other people.
And you living it and you loving it and you're wearing it, create all on the shirt.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Yes. So we touched a little bit on True Colors,
yes,
which is a dope video presentation that you have created. 2 seasons in, or is it 3? 3 seasons in, True Colors, where, well, I'll tell everybody about True Colors and what brought that on.
So True Colors came because I knew, like I said, we had so many dope poets in Detroit. And with the open mics coming like more and more at the time, you got to see so many dope artists from different age groups, you know, young, people that's been in the game for a minute, you know, women, men, you know, like it was crazy, you know, white, you know, like every race, you know, I don't want to get into all that. And I want to kind of create a platform where they can be seen around the world. You know, like be able to try and reach out to all those people. We're still building right now, like growing with the network, you know, so we're trying to market it and create new ideas to be able to market this to people outside of our friend groups and outside of our, you know, poetry network that we have in the city and other places that we travel to. So that's things that we're working on now. But we want to create a platform where we had the opportunity to reach out to people for poets here in the city or, you know, that work and be here in the city.
Dope. So I'm going to ask you one more question, and then we will go over to B. Ward's True Colors.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about ShotX Studios. That would be the entity that actually records the True Colors. Tell us about that.
All right, so it's actually, so that's how it's written out, Shot Studios, but it's actually Shot by Shot Studios.
Okay.
So it's like, you know, you take a video, it's kind of shot by shot, or, you know, you take any kind of process, you know, it's kind of step by step. So we want to make sure that we, you know, showcase that. And it's me and my partner, Jimmy Pirifor, Shot by Jimmy, shout out to him, you know, out there. So what we want to do is like, have a business where we could, you know, keep track of our intellectual property, but then also create opportunities and, you know, and teach artists in the area about their own intellectual property as well. Be able to create spaces for people to grow in and work in, you know, and we were just looking at the business of it. Me personally, I was like, to be totally transparent, when the pandemic came and everybody was like, oh, pandemic, PPP, like people were going crazy. The pandemic of 2020 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But seeing that, we put it on hold. Yeah. But seeing the opportunity that we had to kind of, I guess, now the caller has got me all thinking about what she's about to say. I just want to get this out real quick. But no, in that time, just seeing what it meant to be in position, you know, like to have your business in order, you know, have initiatives, have set goals, you know, and how that helps you to grow. Mm-hmm. So Shot by Shot Studios is like what we created to be able to create that solid foundation, that umbrella, so we can support our self-growth, you know, support our growth, you know, and make sure we were in position to grow.
Got it. Growth. Yes. We have a caller?
Yes. Caller here.
What up, though?
Hello, caller. How are you?
I am great. This is Twist of Love.
Hi, Twist of Love.
Well, I was inspired by the show today with the haiku from Squeeze True
Okay.
Color. So I'm going to entitle it True Color.
Okay.
Um, it goes BLACK. Repeat after me. I'm black. It's my true color. That's the haiku.
Yes, 17 syllables.
Yes,
Straight
I
to the point. I was counting.
see what's
Twisted
counting.
love.
That was fire. Though. I loved it. I loved it.
Yes.
Yes, yes. I just wanted to also encourage you to keep doing what you're doing because there are a lot of poets, including myself, who've been working at their art for so long and still haven't worked at it like they should, which includes me. And I think that a lot of poets, including yourself, kind of inspired me more. So I thank you for that.
I'm glad. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. Keep up the good work. And those words are for you, but they really aren't for you. They're for you to share, just like you did right now. Thank you so much for calling in, Twista. All right. Now we will go to B Ward and True Colors.
Girl, don't act like you don't love thrill and stability. Short rides with complexities, questioning your perception of time and how vulnerable you can be. Don't act like you don't menage a trois with known and unknowings, beginnings and endings, listening to pleasure over logic, wanting them to keep going but saying stop it, stop acting outside of you. The you who wants to play barefoot on wet grass, the you who always tries to match your age, limit your time on stage, soften your rage. Girl, you'll be stuck in this cycle. And trying to break it is the problem all along. All along, you know you wanted the tender, good kisser. All along, you weren't the good listener. Trading in your stillness for noise, your passion for poise. Girl, you gotta make a choice. To accept this revolution, acknowledge your evolution, snatch back the pen that only allows strokes inside the lines, reclaim your divine. Unswallow your truth and lie in it. Girl, don't act like you're not ready for this healing and this healing, raw and uncutting, letting go and unforgiving. Girl, don't act like you're not ready, because you are.
Yes.
Yes, that was B Ward. Girl, get your life. Get yourself together, girl. Thank you so much again, Squeeze, for coming on today.
Man,
you
I'm
are
glad.
getting dropping some nuggets of knowledge for sure. And I hope everybody out there that's watching, I hope you guys are paying attention and listening and grabbing onto some of this knowledge.
Yes, I'm glad.
So what would you tell someone who's considering becoming a poet or a spoken word artist?
I feel like as soon as you consider doing it, you already it, as far as a poet. A spoken word artist is something totally different. That's, you getting on in front of people and speaking, those words out in front of an audience. But as soon as you consider being a poet, I feel like you a poet. So just write down, how you feel. Write down those expressions. Get it down on paper. It don't have to have a form. It don't have to be, what Twisted called in to do. It don't have to be none of that. You can just, write it down, and read it, or not, and that's it. But if you want to be a spoken word artist, go to the open mics. Go check them out. Eventbrite, Facebook. Go to the open mics, and there's so many dope people. Just to be there and support you, and people to meet and talk to beyond artists and poets. That you're gonna see as well. So I would say go to the open mic, get you some good entertainment, and also get you an opportunity to express yourself and meet some cool people.
Absolutely. And we have spoken word events every night of the week here in Detroit.
Yeah.
Every night.
Yes.
If you're looking for something to get into poetically, come on out. There's a lot going on here in the city.
So much, for real. And man, it's been. it's better being. Where else would you want to be?
Right, like
That's how I
what
feel.
should I choose from? I got to go over here first, and then if I leave here early, I can make it over here. But there's so many spots that you can choose from, and no matter where you go, you're gonna get entertained and have some good food for your soul.
Yes, for sure.
Soul food for sure. See what I did there. So do you prefer to memorize your pieces or read when you're performing?
So when I perform, I always try to memorize. I try not to read because I want to hold myself to a standard as a performer. That has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with me as a poet, but just as a performer, I just like to have things memorized just so I can give the performance that I want to the audience. Like I want to give it to them. I want them to feel it. You know.
Exactly.
I feel like I'm a professional. You know, so I want to be. You know, I want to do the professional thing.
Exactly. I think we have another caller.
This is what y'all got a caller right now.
Hey.
Oh, we got a caller and somebody on hold. Y'all wearing us out today. What's going on? Hi.
What up, guys?
Hey.
Hey.
Am I on? Hey, how y'all doing? Roll up and roll in here. This is your girl, Renee Dre.
What up?
Hey, this is an awesome show. Like, this is one of the dopest shows that I've seen in a while. I'm in the store, and when I say even people passing by, like, what you watching?
Yes.
So that's
Poetik.
yeah, so that's what's up. I just wanted to get on here and send some love, and I'm loving the vibes, and hopefully I'll be somewhere live with y'all. I'm always trying to do something new, so another job to my hat.
Shout out to you, man. For real.
Absolutely. Hit me in the DM. Hope to see you soon.
I surely will. Great luck. Good job, and talk to y'all soon.
Thank
see ya.
you.
All right, peace out.
Peace.
Peace.
Next caller.
Hold on, they ain't hold on. Tell them to call back.
Caller, if you are still there, please call back and we will take your call. Right now, we're going to hear another piece from Squeeze.
Oh, as soon as they call back in.
Wait, okay, here's a caller. We have another caller. Hi, caller.
Hello.
How are you? Who are we speaking with? If you would be so kind as to turn your device down so that we don't get the feedback.
Is that better?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Sweet. Hi, my name is Ari Lane.
What up, Ari? Birthday twin.
Birthday twin.
Yes.
How are y'all? I just want to say I think you're both awesome and I love you guys. Shout out to everything that y'all do for the community, for the love of the art and spoken word and poetry. And I have a haiku.
Oh, yes. Come on with it, poet.
Okay. This, I'm going to call it Found. I just wrote it. Okay. Found myself today, hiding in plain sight. Turns out I was never lost.
Yes.
That's that piece.
Come through. Come through.
Did you drop the mic in the car when you was in there? Just drop the phone. Man.
Nah. Shout out to y'all. I love y'all. I know y'all got somebody else on hold.
Love you too, my darling, and I will be hitting you up so that you can come on and hopefully be a guest. Be my guest. Be my guest.
I would love to. I'll be waiting.
All right, my darling. Thanks for calling in. Hope all is well.
Shout out to Ari Lane, man. Go and follow her, Arrie Lane. You know how you spell that, Ari Lane. Go check her out, man. She extra dope poet right here from the city of Detroit. So shout out to her.
Yes, and now we're gonna get to your piece, Squeeze.
All right, so I'm gonna read this poem. This is
Okay.
what I'm gonna read. It's not as long, but the reason why I'm reading this poem is because I wanted to actually make it into a children's book. I've been wanting to write children's literature for a while, and I've been looking for an illustrator, one that can get the idea and really, express the vision how I want it to go. So I'm looking for an illustrator. If you hear it, reach out to me or send, if you don't get called or if it hasn't worked out or whatever, whatever. Don't worry about it, man. It's just, got to get it right, man, for the kids, for real. It's called You Being You. Gather round, I want to tell of a creature so bestowed. It can run and jump and climb and duck over the places it may go. Lend a ear for a modest tale of the greatest being we know. It uses stars and lunar tides to predict the known unknowns. Have you heard of this presence? A mind so complex, it builds networks and entire worlds, even universes out of text. Do you know of such power and to what it belongs? It can hold the world's problems and right the true wrongs. It is evident the identity you would blush if you knew. The greatest being in the world is truly you being you. Yes.
I love the message behind that.
Yes.
Because sometimes we get so caught up trying to be someone
Yes.
for everybody, and we lose ourselves.
Man, and you need yourself to go where you want to go. You know, I ain't gonna say get to where you're going because I don't know where you're going, but I know to go to where you want to go. You know, you're gonna need yourself. You know what I mean? So be you. You know, if you feel like you need growth, be yourself and grow as yourself within yourself. You know, be reflective. You know, take time. You know, and grow. But be you. Don't be trying to be like them because they ain't you.
Yeah, can't nobody walk in your shoes. Just you. Just you. So what's next for Squeeze?
Next, as I said, we're all about business enterprise. So as you said, we got Off the Mic coming. That's at the end of this month, July 30th, at the Irwin Art House on Grand River. And we're going to try to we are bringing all the poets, dope poets, creators, artists together. Just to, like most of the time when these people come together, they're coming to express themselves, coming to, you know, spit, you know. But when you get like poets like One Single Rose and other poets that are professionals, they come in to, you know, showcase, you know, themselves. So they not just coming to just get on the mic and be like, all right, you know, no, I'm going to come up here and make sure I give you something that's going to represent me. You know, so we want to give these people an opportunity to relax amongst this same environment, you know, that they always trying to show out for. You know, you can just chill, you know, get to know, have conversations, build bonds, genuine relationships, perhaps get other initiatives and programs and stuff done in the community or stuff like that. You know, be able to do that by bringing talented artists together in the same space.
Don't.
Also, please, don't let me be remiss. In August, we got Jay McClain. I'll be acting. A lot of people don't know beyond poetry, I do a lot of acting. So please get your tickets for that. And I'm going to pull it up just so I don't mess none of it up because I don't want to get beat up. And
she will get you if you get it wrong.
Man, I don't want to get beat up. And size does not matter. It doesn't. Your man is cheating on us. Please get your tickets for that. That's on the 21st of August. And then on the 20th, this is the second coming, actually. It's the second coming because the first one was sold out. Phenomenal response and reaction from the audience. Take care of home because someone else will. Nope, I don't have the flyer with me. Shout out to Boy Girl. But Girl Boy. I'm sorry. Twice I'm finna get beat up. You know, but no, thank you. I'm gonna post the flyer right now. I'm gonna pull it up in my comment.
Dope. And tell everyone where they can find you. And thank you so much again for coming on today. You're getting all kind of hearts in the comments.
Thank you. Appreciate y'all. You can find me on Facebook, Jason Ford, Jason L. Ford. Either one of those, you will find me directly. And please please share, you know, please interact, you know, with the page because I appreciate it and it's good for me and my business, good for the networks and the things that we're trying to build and bring to the community, so it's good for us. Also, Shot Studios on Instagram, squeeze.1st on Instagram as well. Go check it out.
Dope. Check him out. Connect with him. Support everything that he has going on here in the city poetically. We have one more caller before we end this show. Caller, hi.
Peace. This is Vibrant Flow.
Vibrant Flow.
What up, though?
Hey, word up. I'm loving it. I've enjoyed it. I appreciate you guys. And I just got a question for Squeeze.
What up?
Like I know as artists, when we get on stage, we make it look super easy. Mm-hmm. But personally, I know I have like some nervousness before every time I perform. So what advice would you give to artists who got dope material and they just, that nervousness though has prevented them from getting on stage and sharing their craft?
Vibrant Flo, first of all, Vibrant, that's a phenomenal question. I should have expected that.
I've never seen you nervous.
Yeah, but no, the truth is I get nervous, a lot, and it's a thing that definitely comes probably for most people when they get in front of a large audience. And it's really like you gotta kind of use that nervousness. Like you gotta be it, you know what I mean? You can't kind of run from it or hide from it, you know what I'm saying, or try to, control it. You just gotta use that nervousness to fulfill that character that you're trying to be or portray, or that what you're trying to present to the people. So I would say just embrace it, embrace the nervousness, and just, it's like just jumping in the pool. It's like if it's a hot day and the pool is cold, you try to, walk down the stairs, you might not get in there. But if you just run and jump in there, you're going to be wet for sure. So that's like just jump in for real.
Yeah, thank you so much for that great question and for calling in. I miss you, my darling.
All right, right on. I miss you all as well.
Yes, love it.
Yes. So I am One Single Rose, your host of Poetik. Thank you guys for calling in, for your amazing comments, for the love in the feed. You can find me on all socials as One Single Rose, that's ONE Single Rose, or go to onesinglerose.com. And I'm going to leave you with a piece, but not before telling you this Friday, we've got an erotic poetry show. Go to somewhere in Detroit. On Sunday, I will be hosting for the very first Chill Spot open mic on West 7 Mile. Information for that is on all of my socials and also on my website. So if y'all not busy this weekend, come on out and join us for some poetry. And I'm going to leave you guys with this. Hey, Iris, I see you. Hey, Richard Heath, I see you in the comments. Welcome to her one-woman show. It's an ongoing broadcast that's always on air. There will not be any cancellation or procrastination. This is a can't stop, won't stop, production. Produced by a black girl making magic. She makes the bread. She bakes the bread. She serves it up to fill bellies of the undeserving on the finest china, knowing nothing about me time, because her plate's always filled with something to do for someone else. You think this woman was a ringmaster the way she juggles through her days, multitasking as the CEO of everyone's destiny except hers. She's energized like that damn bunny, rocking while we roll, trying to keep her pockets on swole. She can't afford to get sick or is hitting that lick, so she'll keep on ticking like a Timex wound up on borrowed time. Someone put a spell on her. Matrix moves with X-ray vision, failed to block venom from penetrating her veins. She ignores the sting, walking around for days and a days with an IQ that exceeds brilliance, but she does the dumbest shit, battering her crown, wearing herself down, forgetting to look out for number one. Riding for her in the afternoon, maybe even dying for him by nightfall, but every morning she'll rise, undefeated, ready to take on the world, fueled with love from the Creator pumping through her purple heart. He crowned her a queen, but this woman won't sit back or relax. She picks up her people slack because she's a black girl who works magic. Her life's a haunted fairy tale. As the pages turn, she longs for a happy ending, not realizing she's writing the book with power to dictate how it ends. One single rose, no stem. Hope to see you back next week for Poetik.
Yeah.
Every Tuesday from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. Mad love to Squeeze, my very first guest. Mad love to you for calling in and for the comments. Thank you. Please be a friend. Tell a friend. Share this so we can get some views.
Yeah.
Poetically speaking, I'm yours. Thank you. Taking some time to keep it real. I'm gonna give it to you straight up in your face with no chasers. All I'm trying to do, love, spreading love, real love, love. That's all